Hello, everyone, and welcome to Drive Clean Chicago's webinar on Drive Clean Station. My name is Alicia Gildy, and I am a Regional Director for CalSTART, a clean transportation organization, and I'm joined here with my team fellows, Tom Brotherton and Stephanie Yu. And I'm very pleased to introduce our two presenters for our webinar today. First, we'll start off with Samantha Bingham, who is the Program Director at the City of Chicago Department of Transportation. Sam is also the U.S. Department of Energy Clean Cities Coordinator for the City of Chicago Area Clean Cities Coalition. Sam manages several of the city's air quality improvement programs. She coordinates grant solicitations and supports with city policies and ordinances as it relates to transportation and air quality. Over her 10-year tenure with the City Department of Transportation, she has managed over $55 million in grant funding for green fleet incentive programs. Today, Sam is going to introduce to you Drive Clean Chicago's Drive Clean Station program and talk to you about the available incentives for EV infrastructure. Next, we have Carl Lisek, who is the Vice President and co-owner of Legacy Environmental Services, a woman-owned green ecopreneurial organization. Legacy is helping small and large organizations from across the United States to forge climate action planning, energy and water conservation, sustainability planning, and smart communities. Carl is also the Clean Cities Coordinator for the South Shore Clean Cities Coalition, which oversees 18 counties in northern Indiana. Carl is our outreach support for our clean program for Drive Clean Chicago and is managing the Drive Clean Station program for the team. Thank you both of our wonderful presenters. We're looking forward to hearing from you today. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Sam Bingham.
Thank you very much, Alicia, for that introduction, and thanks everyone for listening in to today's Drive Clean Station webinar. Before I turn the presentation over to Carl to cover the specifics of Drive Clean Station, I want to share some background on the city's sustainable transportation incentives in general. So Drive Clean Station is actually a sub-funding program under initiative the Chicago Department of Transportation runs called Drive Clean Chicago. Drive Clean Chicago was launched more than 3 years ago and provides innovative incentives to both Chicago area fleets and alternative fueling providers to help us grow the market for alternative fuel vehicles and advanced vehicles and their infrastructure in the 6-county Chicago region. And we're doing this because of the sustainability goals of the city. We have goals to improve fleet efficiency, to reduce petroleum use in the transportation sector, as well as to encourage vehicle electrification across all sectors, so light, medium, and heavy duty, as well as off-road sectors. And the Drive Clean Station program and Drive Clean Chicago wouldn't be possible without the support of the federal highway funding, congestion mitigation, air quality funding that we have leveraged to help reduce the emissions impact of these vehicles and of the vehicles, as well as getting more stations out there for public and other fleets uses to grow the market for advanced vehicle technologies. Next slide. This is an incentive snapshot of Drive Clean Chicago today. We currently have 3 sub-funding programs under Drive Clean Chicago. First is Drive Clean Truck, which is a point-of-sale incentive program for Class 2 through Class 8 vehicles in the 6-county Chicago area. This provides an incentive for hybrid and electric vehicles. We provide 30% up to, I think the maximum amount of funding, it's 80% of the incremental cost. I think the maximum amount of funding that a single vehicle can receive is about $150,000. And what makes this incentive innovative is that it's a point of sale incentive, which is actually the same for our next incentive program, which is Drive Clean Taxi. Drive Clean Taxi is also an incentive program for vehicles, but it's for natural gas and electric vehicles used by public passenger vehicles as regulated by the city of Chicago. These are high mileage vehicles, and by transitioning to alternative fuels and electric, we are reducing petroleum use and having an impact on air quality. The max amount for an incentive under that program is $10,000 per vehicle, but it's 80% of the incremental cost, up to $10,000. And Drive Clean Station is our last program. Carl Lisek will be talking about that shortly, so I'll go ahead and skip this summary for right now and head to the next slide. One thing I wanted to bring up before Carl got started was that we are uniquely positioned in the Chicago area in that we have funding available to help the U.S. Department of Transportation build out this national corridor initiative for alt-fuel corridors of priority. In late 2015, Congress passed the latest transportation bill, which was called the FAST Act, and that bill required the Secretary of the Department of Transportation to identify corridors of national importance for alternative fuels and electric vehicle charging stations. So in 2016, the U.S. Department of Transportation identified these corridors. This is the map of the EV charging stations. The highlighted green areas on this map are areas that are signage ready, so they have significant infrastructure to be deemed alt-fuel corridor ready. And then the dotted lines you see on this map are corridors that have some infrastructure, but if they had additional infrastructure, ready. So they're signage pending parts of these corridors. Next slide, please. And it's because of the leadership of the Illinois Department of Transportation and the Illinois Department of Commerce and Economic Opportunity. They actually led the charge in Illinois to designate our highways as national corridors. Here is a zoom in on the Chicago area's EV corridors. The solid lines are the corridors that are signage ready, and then the dotted line is where signage is pending. It would be signage ready if additional infrastructure was in place. And then all the other fine red lines are corridors or parts of highways that were not designated. So there's a lack of infrastructure, and that we are hoping with our program we can help fill in some of those gaps. We won't be able to fill in all of the gaps, but through Drive Clean Station we hope to help fill in the gaps and provide more robust infrastructure throughout the region. Next slide. So you might be wondering why the city of Chicago is taking this lead and working on a regional level to ensure that we have adequate infrastructure and incentives for alternative fuel vehicles. And it's really due to Mayor Emanuel's leadership and his ambitious goal that he set to make Chicago the most greenest, sustainable city in the country. Transportation plays a significant role in our ability to achieve that goal. Transportation accounts for 26% of the city's greenhouse gas emissions and is a major contributor to our regional air quality issues. And so it makes sense for us to work at a regional level to encourage a more robust clean fuel, clean vehicle market. We've been Chicago Area Clean Cities and the Department of Energy's Clean Cities program for over 20 years, and we've for over the past 10, we've been taking the lead on regional alternative fuel projects and have actually we've managed and deployed over $50 million in clean vehicle incentives for public and private fleets throughout the region. Next slide. That brings us to Drive Clean Station, and Carl will be going into detail further on how Drive Clean Station works, who can participate, what station technologies are eligible for this program, how much funding is available, how to submit an application, and where to receive more information after today's webinar. I have the pleasure of introducing Carl Lisek at this time, and thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Samantha, and thank you, Alicia. And well, good morning, everyone, and thank you again for participating on this Drive Clean Station web. The Chicagoland area through the Drive Clean Station request for application. Through the Drive Clean Chicago initiative, we have tried to make this application as simple as possible as a way to provide additional fast charging stations throughout northern Illinois. Next slide, please. The purpose of this solicitation is to extend DC fast charging stations in the 6-county area, which includes Cook, DuPage, Kane, Lake, and McHenry and Will counties of Illinois. This opportunity allows northern Illinois organizations and others to provide DC fast charging to more than 30 EV models that are currently on the road and more coming in 2017 and beyond. All the equipment manufacturers, including Chevy, Ford, Audi, Honda, Hyundai, Lexus, Toyota, BMW, Fiat, Nissan, and Tesla have electric or hybrid electric models. Currently, Illinois is ranked 8th in the nation for the total number of electric vehicles in operation, and the Chicago metro area is ranked 7th for the total number of electric vehicles. Statistics have shown a significant increase of DC charging stations installed throughout the country, over 85% since 2015. Currently, through the Drive Clean Station program, we have $825,000 available. So we are anticipating many great applications and opportunities to network these stations across the 6-county area. This is a competitive grant program, meaning this program is an opportunity not only for single station providers to install a DC fast charging station, but also an organization or a group can work collectively on applying. All the information about the program, as well as the grant application, can be seen on the drivecleanchicago.com website. One of the big changes to the program is that this is a rolling application, and we will be accepting applications as soon as today. Once an application is received, you will receive an email that verifies receipt of your grant application. We anticipate within 2 weeks of receiving that application, you will be notified if your grant application was accepted. You will only be able to incur expenses once you have signed a subcontract agreement with CalSTART, the Drive Clean Chicago program administrator. Once the grant has been signed, you can begin incurring expenses, and this will be a cost reimbursement activity. Once the station has been completely installed, we will make a physical inspection of the property, and all receipts will be paid in arrears. All projects and reimbursements must be completed and operational by December 31st of 2017. Next slide, please. This solicitation is open to all types of organizations, including governments, businesses, and nonprofits. Partnerships are allowed. However, we are only looking for one project manager as the lead applicant. Next slide, please. For your convenience, on the drivecleanchicago.com website, we have posted current available DC fast charging station manufacturers. If there are companies that meet all these requirements that are not listed, please contact us. Again, all DC fast charging stations must be located in the 6-county area of northern Illinois. Next slide, please. All stations must be networked and accommodate either the CHAdeMO or SE combined charging station network. And if you have any questions on that, you can please contact us, and our contact information will be presented at the end of this presentation. Next slide, please. So there, as of today, February 23rd, 2017, $825,000 is available for this program. Again, this will pay up to 30% of the total cost. So if the station cost is $10,000, the grant request is $3,000 with a $7,000 match. We will need documentation on the grant application on how and where the match is coming from. Next slide, please. New to Drive Clean Station is the rolling application in which each new application that is submitted, if they are qualified, we will update the Drive Clean Chicago website with current available amounts to all the funds have been allocated. Please submit grant applications to the emails listed. Next slide, please. All applicants must complete the fillable application form. Project narratives must not exceed 5 pages. It should include the location of the stations, justification of why the location was chosen, accessibility, and so on. And so if you follow the Drive Clean Station application and have questions, again, please contact us via email and we will answer those questions. Next slide, please. As you can see, this is a fillable PDF, and we will be looking for the primary point of contact. It is our preference only to work directly with the one individual that is appointed as primary contact. Please include all of their contact information. Project information would correspond to each specific address where the DC fast charging station will be located. In Section C is the funding request information, total cost, applicant contribution, and grant request amounts, which cannot be more than 30% of the cost of the capital cost of the project. And on the applicant percentage of match, and then the total number of DC fast charging stations that you are requesting to install, and possibly if you can estimate the number of gallons that your conventional gasoline equivalents that you're looking to displace in the last column. Next slide, please. All questions must be submitted by email to station@drivecleanstation.com, and we will respond back to you within the next business day. Next slide, please. And again, any questions and answers will be posted as soon as possible on the Drive Clean Chicago website. Next slide, please. As you can see on the activity of key dates, we will be having another Drive Clean Station webinar on the 28th of February at 10 a.m. It's really important for you to submit an application as quickly as possible because it is first come, first served. It is our hope to have the DC fast charging stations installed as soon as possible. We will also be hosting an informational session at the upcoming Green Drives Expo on Thursday, May 18th at the Northern Illinois University, located in Naperville, Illinois, which will consist of many of the Drive Clean Station approved technologies and organizations that have taken advantage of the program. As this is a rolling grant, the last possible date that you will be able to submit a grant application request is July 31st of 2017. And last but not least, all projects must be installed and completed no later than December 31st of 2017. The grantee will submit a reimbursement request to CalSTART once the project is complete and the station is operational. Next slide, please. By sending an email to the listing below, we will contact you shortly and answer any questions in which they will be posted on the DriveCleanChicago.com website. With that, if you have any questions, please let us know, and I will turn it back over to Ms. Samantha Bingham from the City of Chicago.
Thank you, Carl, and thanks, Alicia, once again for having us on today's webinar. I think at this time we'll open up for questions.
Sam, I see a number of really good questions. I'll go ahead and ask them and ask that you and Carl respond to them. The first question we have is, can an applicant use other grant funding for matching funds?
You can use other grants as matching funds if they are from the federal government. They will not qualify as match. As I mentioned up front, Drive Clean Chicago is funded with federal congestion and mitigation funding, and so one of the requirements for that funding is that we cannot match it with other federal funds. So while you can use other grants, other federal grants cannot qualify as match. It doesn't mean that you cannot move forward with the project. You just need to let us know about that in your application, and we'll need to figure out if the project is viable or not.
Great, wonderful. Thank you, Sam. I have another funding-related question here. I'm hearing a lot about the Volkswagen diesel emission settlement funding to states. Will those funds be eligible for use as matching funds?
We haven't seen all the details yet regarding Volkswagen's settlement funds. In the past, settlement funds you've been able to use settlement in funding for local match. It hasn't necessarily met the definition or threshold for what federal funds would be considered. So that's a great question. We'll keep people posted as we learn more. But as I mentioned, in the past, settlement funding has been able to be used as local match for federal funds.
Okay, great. Thanks, Sam. Another question here. Who pays for the electricity needed for the charging? Is it the station owner or the EV driver?
There are a variety of business models, if you would say, for public charging. In some instances, station providers choose to make stations free, and in that case, the station owner is responsible for the cost of electricity. In other instances, there is a fee to access the station, and that can be based on time or a session or per kilowatt hour or even a monthly membership program. So we're really leaving it up to the market to decide what the best route forward is for recapturing the cost or not for charging electric vehicles. So it would, the initial cost for the charging, for the electricity would be the site host or the station provider, and it's up to them then to decide on how and what to charge the EV user.
Okay, and this is a related question. Can the station owners, I guess, here charge users for using the stations?
Yes, there's no prohibition to charging the EV users.
Okay, great. Another question here. Are there apps or other resources available for finding the stations? So if someone wanted to have access or needed to charge, how might they find information about an existing station?
Carl, do you want to take that one?
Sure. We currently would utilize the AFDC website that we have all the DC fast chargers that are located in the Chicagoland area. And so that is the app that you can download onto your phone that is available to any user. So you can even go to the Chicago Clean Cities website and you can download the app from their website, or go to the AFDC website, afdc.com, and you can get that app and download it right to your phone.
Great. Thanks, Carl. Another question. So how might this be a program opportunity to encourage EV workplace charging at the workplace?
I think part of the goal of this is, with all the various incentives that are coming out with the different auto manufacturers, we do feel that this is a huge incentive for employers to take advantage of installing DC fast chargers at their location. And we're seeing a trend across the United States that many of the larger employers use this as an employee benefit by providing electric charging stations, DC fast charging stations, for their employees to encourage them to utilize electric vehicles and clean air initiatives.
That's excellent. Thanks, Carl. Well, that's what I see for now in terms of questions. Are there any other questions out there, or any of our team members have some comments to make?
Again, Alicia, I just wanted to close with, we do have a listing of the approved DC fast charging station manufacturers, And we believe it's all inclusive, and again, as we know, the technology is changing on a daily basis. If there are other approved manufacturers that are not listed on our website, please let us know and contact us because this is an ever evolving market.
Great. Wonderful, Carl. Sam, anything else to add?
No, we look forward to receiving your applications.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, everyone. We'll make sure to have all of the questions that were asked during Q&A available up on our website. We'll also make sure that this webinar, the recorded webinar, is available on our website. I was also thinking we might want to provide a link that shares the existing stations so that folks will have access to that via our Drive Clean Chicago website. So anyway, thank you, everyone. We're looking forward to seeing your proposals, and thank you for helping us to promote a sustainable Chicago. Have a wonderful day, everyone.